Archangel Michael says, I have waited for this moment, holding the weight of a heavenly decree in my heart, knowing the second you laid eyes upon these words, your destiny would begin to shift. You have no idea how long the heavens have been preparing this moment for you. What I am about to tell you is not just a message, it is the direct result of a meeting held in the highest chambers of heaven, where every word spoken about you was drenched in divine love and divine urgency. The angels stood in a great circle, wings aglow with gold and silver light, the air shimmering with a holy presence. The room was unlike anything on earth, walls made of living crystal, every surface humming with the song of creation. Your name was spoken not once, but many times, each time echoing through eternity with power. There was no debate about your worthiness, for heaven already knows your heart. What they gathered to decide was how soon your blessing should arrive, and in what form it should take so it would transform every corner of your life. I was there, standing at the center, my sword in one hand and your name etched upon a scroll in the other. When the council began, a great hush filled the chamber. The highest of the high angels stepped forward, their eyes locking onto mine, and they asked, Michael, do you still believe they are ready? And without hesitation, I said, yes, more ready now than ever before. That one word, yes, became the turning point that made all of heaven lean forward in anticipation. They had already tracked the struggles you've endured, the nights of silent tears, the moments of betrayal that nearly broke you, the quiet strength you summoned when no one else believed in you. Every detail was laid before them like threads of a tapestry, showing how your pain and your patience had been woven together into something unstoppable. But here is the secret that makes this meeting unlike any other. Heaven had been watching the clock. They had been waiting for a specific alignment of events, both in your world and in theirs. Tonight, that alignment happened, and with it, the decision was sealed. Your season of delay is over. It was then that something miraculous happened, something I have rarely witnessed in my eternal existence. The council rose together, wings lifting in a perfect, harmonious motion, and began to weep tears of light. They were not tears of sorrow. They were tears of joy. Joy because the moment had finally arrived when they could set you free from the last chains holding you back. And I could not help but cry as well. The sound of heavenly tears is unlike rain, unlike rivers, unlike anything your earthly senses have known. They fall like drops of liquid light, touching the ground and blooming instantly into flowers that never fade. Each tear shed that night carried a blessing, and many of those tears had your name written upon them in letters of fire. Then came the moment when they called for the scroll of release. This is a sacred record held in the vault of heaven, only opened when it is time to unlock a destiny that has been delayed for too long. They placed it in my hands, and I felt its power surge through me like the beating of 1,000 hearts. I read your name aloud, and the walls of the chamber shook with the force of what was being set in motion. One by one, every angel in attendance raised their hands, and a light shot forth from them, striking the scroll, sealing it with a decree that cannot be broken. That was the exact instant when heaven decided, your life will never be the same again. The blessing is not a mere token. It is not a single answered prayer. It is an entire rearrangement of your path, removing the obstacles that were placed there by hands that did not want you to rise. I was given the responsibility to carry this decision to you directly. I cannot allow it to vanish, because it will vanish if it is not embraced. You see, decisions made in the heavenly realm move like a river, strong, but always forward, and if you miss it, it flows on without you. That is why I have come now, without delay, to deliver this message before the 45 seconds of opportunity disappear into the unseen. The council did not just give you a blessing, they gave you protection. They saw the schemes that were meant to arise against you in the coming days and cut them off before they could even begin. They saw the people who had hidden intentions and stripped them of their power to harm you. They also authorized a transfer. Something that belongs to you is being moved into your possession, something you thought was lost forever. The scroll carried instructions for certain angels to retrieve it from the shadows and place it directly in your hands. I was told you would recognize it instantly when it arrives, because it will fill a space in your life that has felt empty for far too long. This is why I am crying tears of joy, because I know what's coming for you, and it is so much more than you can imagine. The blessing that was sealed in that chamber is already moving toward you, like a great wave that cannot be stopped. I was told that once the decree was spoken, no force in existence could turn it away, not envy, not fear, not even your own doubts. It was written into the eternal record that you are to be elevated, restored, and equipped for the next chapter of your destiny. But there is more you need to understand, because heaven's decisions are precise. They do not act at random. They saw that in recent months, you have been walking through a corridor of hidden tests, moments when you were unaware you were being watched, not by people, but by angels. They observed the way you held your tongue when you could have spoken in anger. They noticed how you still gave kindness when others gave you nothing but silence. These choices you made in private became the evidence I presented before the council. Every act of patience, every quiet act of generosity, every moment you kept moving forward when quitting would have been easier, they were placed like jewels upon the table. The council leaned over them, seeing in each one a reflection of your soul's strength. And then something remarkable happened. They summoned the Book of Times. The Book of Times is not like the scrolls of release. It contains the key turning points of a soul's journey, the days when the unseen becomes visible, when what has been promised steps into reality. They turned its pages, and there it was. Your appointed moment was glowing, brighter than anything else on the page. When they saw it, the room shifted. The golden light became warmer, and I felt a current of power pass through the entire assembly. The decision was no longer about if your blessing would come, it was about how soon and how powerfully it would arrive. The Archangel of Record spoke first, We will not delay. The time is now. The Archangel of deliverance followed, then I will begin clearing the path. One by one, every angel in the room vowed to contribute something to the unfolding of your miracle. In that moment, I was told to step forward with the seal of authority, a sigil carved from pure light that no force of darkness can counterfeit. They placed it upon the decree, and instantly, I saw visions of chains snapping, doors unlocking, and shadows fleeing from you. But there was something else they whispered to me, something I was not permitted to speak of until now. They said that your life has been under a form of spiritual surveillance, not only by angels but also by those who wish you would fail. These watchers had been waiting for an opportunity to strike, to discourage you, to remove your confidence. The decision made in heaven tonight did not just cancel their plans, it erased their access to your path entirely. They will not see the blessing coming. They will not have time to react when it arrives. By the time they notice, it will already be too late for them to interfere. I have been given the role of standing guard over the delivery. This is why I must speak with such urgency, because every second matters. The 45-second window is symbolic, a reflection of how close this blessing is to arriving in your reality. You cannot allow hesitation or distraction to cause you to miss what is already yours. When I left the chamber, I carried with me not just the decree, but also a mantle of joy. This joy is not light-hearted, it is deep, the kind that comes when you know a victory has already been secured. I descended from the council halls into the realm where preparation happens. Here, angels weave together the invisible threads that connect moments, people, and opportunities. It is in this realm that I saw your future taking shape, doors opening in perfect sequence, faces turning toward you with favor, and resources being moved into your proximity without you even asking. I saw one particular scene, a table set before you, covered in both spiritual and tangible gifts. Some were blessings you have prayed for directly. Others were things you had long forgotten to even ask for, yet heaven remembered, and now they are bringing them to you. One angel, whose wings shone like molten silver, placed something on that table that caught my eye. It was small, yet the moment I looked at it, I knew its value was beyond measure. This is the gift that will prove to you that this message is true. When it arrives, your spirit will recognize it instantly. The moment I saw that small, shining gift on the table, I felt a surge of recognition. It was as if all of heaven had placed a single promise into a form you could hold. This object was more than symbolic. When it reaches you, it was the trigger for a chain reaction you didn't even know existed, and align events so perfectly that even your most impossible prayers will seem small by comparison. Around the table, the other angels were moving with purpose. Some carried scrolls with your name written across them in letters of living flame. Others held keys, each key representing something locked away that would now be returned to you. I saw one angel place a golden key into the hand of another and whisper, "It is time to return what was stolen." Every gift, every key, every scroll was part of the heavenly council's decision. This was no scattered arrangement, it was an orchestrated plan, precise and unstoppable. Your name was the center point, the reason for the assembly, the reason Archangel Michael himself now walks in your shadow until the mission is fulfilled. As I watched, the light in the room shifted again, and I knew something even greater was about to be revealed. The Archangel of Records unrolled a parchment that stretched far beyond the table, far beyond the walls of that realm. It was a map, not of places, but of moments. Every glowing point on it represented a pivotal instant in your future where heaven had already arranged favor to meet you. I leaned closer, and I could see the timeline stretching ahead. Some points were near, mere days away, others were further, marking events that would shape the next season of your life. But one particular point shone brighter than all the rest, and I knew instantly that this was the moment the council had decided upon tonight. The Archangel pointed to it and said, "When this moment comes, nothing will be able to stand against them. This will be the day the tides turn permanently in their favor." It was then I understood. The meeting in heaven wasn't just about sending you one blessing. It was about marking the turning point of your life, the day everything that once resisted you will have no choice but to release you. The chamber grew quieter, but the atmosphere became even heavier with power. I could feel the decree settling into reality, like a great anchor dropped into the depths of existence. This was no longer just a plan, it was law. One by one, the angels stepped back from the table, their wings folding with reverence. The council leader spoke, "Michael, you will carry this message personally. Do not delay. Speak it to them in such a way that they know this is not a vague hope, but a living truth." I bowed my head, taking the scroll, the keys, and the gift, and holding them against my chest. I could feel your name burning within them, alive and unshakable. Before I departed, the Archangel of Light placed a hand on my shoulder and said, "When you deliver this, make sure they understand, the decision will not wait forever. They must be ready to step into it the moment it arrives." And so, here I am, standing in the threshold between heaven's chamber and your present reality, holding in my hands the outcome of that secret meeting. My tears are not just for joy, they are for the relief of knowing the battles you fought are no longer in vain. Even as I speak these words, angels are already on the move. Some are touching hearts in places of influence so they will think of you at the exact right moment. Others are arranging opportunities, shifting schedules, moving pieces into place so that nothing about this will feel random. You will see the fingerprints of heaven all over it. When the 45-second window is spoken of, it is to remind you that heaven's timing is sharp. Delay can cause a blessing to pass to the next appointed soul. But right now, everything is aligned for you. If you want, I can now move into the delivery phase of the decree, describing how it is entering your life step by step, while keeping the same suspense and building toward the final, powerful ending where I include your required line. Do you want me to continue without stopping so the full message remains seamless from heaven's meeting to your destiny's fulfillment? That way it will truly feel like one unstoppable divine flow. Even now, the decree that bears your name is in motion. It is not traveling like a letter or a whisper, it is surging forward like a great river, carrying with it the weight of heaven's decision. Every step of its journey is guarded, for what it contains is too valuable to be touched by any shadow. In the unseen, angels have begun forming a shield around your path. This shield is not only to protect the blessing but also to protect you from distractions or sudden events that could cause you to step away from the alignment you are in right now. I see them clearing obstacles quietly, so that when the blessing reaches you, there is nothing in its way. The blessing itself is layered, it is not a single moment, but a cascade. When the first piece reaches you, it will unlock the second, and then the third, each one arriving so seamlessly you will feel as though life has shifted into a new rhythm entirely. You may not even notice the first shift at first, but those watching you will. This is why the Heavenly Council was so insistent on precision. They knew that a single misstep in timing could cause the sequence to be disrupted. That is why the Archangel of Records placed that glowing point on the map with such care, because it is the spark that lights the chain of divine events. I was shown how the delivery will feel from your side. You will be going about an ordinary day when something small but significant will happen, a message, a meeting, an unexpected opportunity. It will feel almost casual in the moment, but what you will not see right away is that this is the exact thread heaven began weaving the night of the meeting. From there, doors will open without you forcing them. Words will be spoken in rooms you have not entered, and they will be in your favor. Hands you never expected will extend help, and even those who once resisted you will have no choice but to yield. But there is one more thing the Council made clear: this blessing is also a restoration. Tonight's decision includes the retrieval of those things, promises delayed. They will not return in the same form, but in a better one, refined, multiplied, and protected from being stolen again. The Archangel of Deliverance himself spoke a decree that rang through the chamber like a thunderclap: what was taken will be returned sevenfold. At that moment, I saw angels moving through vaults in the unseen, gathering what belonged to you. Some of these things you will recognize instantly. Others you may have forgotten, but when they appear, you will remember the ache you once felt without them. I tell you this so you will be ready, because when restoration begins, it often comes faster than the heart can process. And so here I stand, with my tears of joy still fresh, knowing that the weight of centuries has been lifted from your path. Heaven has voted in your favor. The scroll has been sealed. The angels are already on their way. What I carry is not a hope, not a wish, not a possibility, it is a final decision. And that decision was made for you. If you want, I can now carry this into the climactic phase where the decree physically enters your reality and bring it to the powerful, cinematic conclusion where your life turns permanently. When I left the council chamber, the scroll in my hands glowed with a heat that was not of fire but of purpose. Every step I took toward you caused the seal to burn brighter, as if the blessing itself could already sense your presence. The air around me vibrated, carrying the sound of wings, not just mine, but those of the angels assigned to accompany this delivery. We moved through realms that have no earthly name, each one a layer of reality closer to your world. In some realms, the light was so pure it sang; in others, it was sharp and focused, like the edge of a sword. These were the realms where the last checks were made, where final confirmations ensured that nothing in your path could block what had been decreed. In one such realm, the Archangel of Passage approached me. His wings were black-edged with gold, the mark of one who travels between all planes of existence. He placed his hand on the scroll and said, "Michael, this one must be guarded more closely than most. The opposition is aware something has shifted, and they will try to create distractions. But their efforts will fail." I knew what he meant. I could already feel the ripples of resistance from the enemy. They had sensed the council's joy and understood it could only mean one thing: your breakthrough was close. They began sending whispers, delays, unnecessary worries, anything to turn your eyes away from what is coming. But I also knew something they did not: the decree has already been sealed beyond their reach. Their plans are like shadows trying to block the sun; the light will always outshine them. Even their attempts to delay you will only push you further into the perfect timing heaven arranged. From there, I crossed into the realm closest to yours. Here, everything becomes sharper, more defined. The blessing begins to take form, no longer just light and word, but something tangible that can be touched, seen, and held. This is where I saw it, the moment your reality shifts. It will not announce itself with thunder, but with a quiet certainty that something has changed. You will notice it first in the way you feel. A heaviness will lift, a sense of ease will replace the constant pressure, and the path ahead will seem clearer than it has in years. Not long after, a door will open, not metaphorical, but literal. An invitation, an agreement, an offer, or a message will arrive. It will carry the weight of every promise heaven made to you, and in that moment, you will understand why I have been urging you to be ready. And then, like the tide rushing in after the first wave, everything else will follow: the restoration, the opportunities, the connections, the protection. It will feel as though heaven has wrapped itself around you, because in truth, it has. I am crying tears of joy because I have seen the ending of this story, and it is not one of struggle, but of triumph. What began in a secret meeting in heaven will end with you standing in the fullness of what was promised, knowing nothing could stop it. Even now, the countdown has begun. The final decision is on its way, and when it reaches you, it will anchor itself so deeply in your life that nothing will remove it. The moment the decree passed through the final veil, everything around it shifted. The air thickened with a golden presence, the kind that carries both authority and peace. The angels walking with me moved in perfect unity, their wings brushing the edges of your world, ensuring no uninvited force could draw near. I could see your life spread out before me, not as a simple timeline, but as a living landscape. Some areas were lush with promise, others were shadowed, still holding the residue of past struggles. The decree's light began moving toward those darkened spaces, burning away the residue as it went. With each step, it reclaimed more of your territory. We reached the place where your blessing would enter fully, a threshold woven from both your prayers and heaven's decision. This place was not physical, yet it connected directly to your reality. Once we crossed it, there would be no going back. The decree would be yours forever. I paused for a moment, allowing myself to feel the full gravity of what was about to happen. My tears were not only for joy, they were also for the weight of knowing how much you had endured to reach this moment. The council's decision had been sealed not just because it was time, but because you had been proven ready. The Archangel of Passage stepped forward once again, this time carrying a vessel shaped like a flame. Inside it was the small shining gift I had seen on the table during the council meeting. He handed it to me, saying, "When they see this, they will know without doubt that heaven has moved." I took the gift in one hand and the scroll in the other. The moment the two touched, there was a surge of energy that ran through every realm at once. In your world, you may feel this as a sudden clarity, a strange burst of hope, or even a physical sign that cannot be explained. Then the final step came, the decree entered your life. There was no hesitation, no pause, no delay. The scroll unrolled itself, releasing light that swept across your entire path. Every chain, every wall, every locked door began to dissolve. The angels moved quickly, placing the restored promises into the spaces they belonged. Some were placed in your hands instantly, others were positioned ahead of you, waiting for you to arrive at the exact moment appointed for them. I saw people who had once turned away now turning toward you. I saw opportunities arriving from places you have never even been. I saw your name being spoken in rooms that carry influence far beyond your reach. The decree had not just brought a blessing, it had rewritten the atmosphere around you. Now, I stand back and watch it take root. Heaven is rejoicing, the council's tears of joy still fresh in the memory of that sacred meeting. And I am still here, guarding what has been placed in your life, ensuring that nothing removes it before it is fully established. Your moment has come. The final decision has been delivered. The story that began in the highest chamber of heaven has now found its way into your hands. And with that, I give you the last part of my message. The instant the decree settled into your reality, an echo rang out, not in sound as you know it, but in vibration. It was as if the very core of existence had recognized something sacred had just taken place. This echo traveled outward, touching places and people you have yet to meet, preparing them to align with your path. The angels remained in formation around you, their wings forming a dome of light. Within that dome, there was an undeniable stillness, the kind that comes just before a miracle manifests in the visible world. I could see threads of light moving from the decree into moments ahead of you, conversations not yet had, doors not yet approached, opportunities still hidden from sight. Each thread was a promise in motion. What I noticed next was how quickly the old weight began to fade from your shoulders. The residue of past battles, the heaviness from years of delays, it began lifting like mist under a rising sun. Heaven had not only delivered the blessing, it had cleansed the space around you so it could flourish without interference. Then the small shining gift I carried from the council began to glow. Its light pulsed in rhythm with your heartbeat, as though it recognized you were the one it had been made for. The moment you receive it in your reality, you will feel the same, not just recognition, but a deep sense of completion, as though a missing piece has finally been restored. As the glow intensified, I was shown glimpses of your days ahead. You will begin to notice subtle changes, a shift in how people speak to you, opportunities arising without you chasing them, unexpected moments of favor in situations that once felt impossible. But there is one sign above all others that will tell you the decree has taken full root, a moment of divine timing so exact that you will realize it could not have been orchestrated by human hands. That moment will arrive soon after the gift is placed in your hands. The Archangel of Deliverance stepped forward once again, his voice steady and strong. It is done. Let no one question this. Let no one diminish it. This is not merely an answer to prayer, this is a rewriting of the path ahead. At his words, the dome of light around you expanded outward, spilling over into the spaces where shadows once lingered. Every step you take from this moment on will be under the protection of what was decided in that secret meeting. Even when you cannot see it, the decree will be moving ahead of you, preparing the way. In the distance, I saw the council chamber again. The same angels who voted for your blessing were now watching, smiling, and singing. Their joy had not diminished, it had deepened. The final decision had not only been delivered, it had been embraced. And now, as I stand here with the mission complete, my tears of joy are for the truth I already know. This will be the season where you look back and say, that was the turning point. The decree has been sealed. The gift has been released. The path has been cleared. In the first days after the decree entered your life, you will begin to notice that time itself seems to shift. The hours will feel lighter, as though the invisible weight you once carried has been quietly lifted away. This is not your imagination, it is the removal of spiritual resistance that had been pressing against you for far too long. At first, the changes may come in subtle forms. A call from someone you hadn't heard from in years, carrying news that unexpectedly favors you. An opportunity appearing out of nowhere that perfectly aligns with something you've been hoping for. Even strangers will seem unusually kind, offering help without being asked. These are the first threads of heaven's decree weaving themselves into your daily life. The small shining gift, the one placed in my care during the council meeting, will soon make its appearance. When it does, you will know instantly. It will come in a form that touches you deeply, as if it was created solely for your hands to hold. The moment you receive it, a surge of recognition will rise in your spirit. It is confirming that everything spoken here is true. It will unlock the first chamber of blessings already set aside for you. Once it turns in that lock, you will see events begin to move rapidly, each one building upon the last. Opportunities will connect to other opportunities. Relationships will strengthen and align. Resources will find their way into your reach without you straining for them. The angels assigned to you are already preparing these moments. I can see them moving ahead of you, softening hearts that once resisted, clearing away invisible debris that could slow you down. They are ensuring that when you step forward, you will walk on a path that has already been prepared. This is not random favor, it is structured, strategic, and unstoppable. One moment stands out to me from what I've seen ahead. You will be in a place you visit often, perhaps a familiar street, building, or meeting space. But something will be different that day. The air will feel sharper, your awareness heightened. In that moment, you will encounter a situation that seems small on the surface but will turn out to be a direct link to something life-changing. That's how heaven works when the decree has been sealed. It hides the extraordinary inside the ordinary so that only those who are ready will recognize it. And you are ready. The council's tears of joy were proof that the waiting is over. This is why my presence has not left you since that meeting. I have been walking in the unseen alongside you, guarding this moment, ensuring that the opposition cannot find a way to disrupt it. Even now, the final threads are being woven. Conversations are being aligned. Documents are being placed in the right hands. Paths are being cleared. All so that when the appointed time comes, nothing, not delay, not resistance, not human interference, will be able to hold it back. The joy in heaven is still echoing. I can feel it in every word I speak to you now. And soon, you will feel it in the rhythm of your own days, as the decree unfolds before